AITA for not going to my mom's house for Christmas and refusing to make my little sister go too. I'm 17 and my little sister is 15. Our dad died about 10 years ago. It was sudden and devastating. One day he kissed and hugged me and sis and told us he loved us, and then we never heard from him again. At the time I couldn't fully grasp why he chose to stay away even though mom tried to explain it to us. I missed him and thought I did something wrong to make dad mad. I repeatedly called his phone hoping he would answer, but it always went directly to his voicemail. At his funeral, I realized I would never see him again and I broke down. I don't remember much from that day except Uncle David held me the entire time. He held me throughout the funeral, during the drive home, and as I fell asleep that night. Uncle Alan did the same thing with sis. It wasn't easy growing up with just my mom and sis, but not as tough as it could have been because the two uncles were always a phone call away. Whenever we needed help with school, one of the uncles was there to tutor us. One of them was always in the front row of every school performance and game. Whenever I wake up in the middle of the night and miss Dad, I'll call Uncle David and know he'll always pick up. My mom eventually remarried to Bob. I never liked Bob because he always had to be in control and placed us on a strict schedule. Dinner was at 7 every day no matter what. If we came home late and dinner was over, we weren't allowed to eat that night. Whenever our uncles gave me and sis money, we had to give it to Bob and he divided the money equally. A couple of months ago, sis and I were eating with Uncle David and his family. Our dinner conversation eventually led to where I want to go for college and how to pay for it. Uncle David told me that the uncles decided long ago they were going to pay for me and sis's tuition and cost of living on campus. I cried when I heard that and laughed when he jokingly said he hoped I don't get into medical school, because that's going to cost him a fortune. I went home and excitedly told Mom and Bob that the uncles are going to pay for our colleges. Instead of being happy, they both looked furious and Bob started screaming about how unfair it was to our step-siblings and half-sister that were getting a free ride through college. He wanted me to tell our uncles to divide the college funds equally among the kids, but I refused. The next day he kept on screaming at us, so sis and I packed our bags to go to Uncle David's house. He kept on screaming and even followed us out to my car. Sis and I have been living Uncle David and his family ever since. This feels more like home than it ever did at our house. Mom has been asking us to come home for Christmas for a month now and I've been refusing. Today is the 24th and she's been calling all morning crying and saying how we need to spend Christmas with family. Am I wrong for not spending Christmas with Mom? NTA. Denying you food simply because you missed the dinner bell is abusive. Getting upset over you getting a full ride to college is not great either. Sometimes we have to work a little harder to find people who truly love us. I'm glad your uncles are there for you. Hey up, this sounds extremely close to this post from a few months ago from your mom's POV possibly? Editing to add NTA. If your mom wants to see you for Christmas, it's on her to come to you too. If that's what you want. You poor thing. NTA. If your parents pursue any legal action to compel you to come home, request a guardian ad litem. They will represent your interests, not your parents or anyone else's. Your uncles sound like absolute stars. I'm happy for you and your sister that you have both of them in your life. Bob, however, different kettle of fish. All the money your uncles have given you over the years, was that just shared between you and your sister or all, or the steps as well? If the latter, Bob has been stealing from you both all this time. NTA in the slightest. NTA. Your mom chose a controlling and verbally abusive man over her own kids. I hate when women are so desperate for a man that they choose a horrible man just to say they have. 1. You're 17, you're almost an adult, but your sister need her guardianship switched over to the uncle. So Bob and Mom won't cause trouble for your uncle. NTA. If your mom chooses Bob's happiness over her daughter's, she doesn't deserve to see you. NTA. Mom, you allowed Bob to mistreat us for years and never stood up for us. So we no longer feel safe with you. That means we won't be coming there for Christmas or any other time. NTA. Christmas is AmITheAsshole. About family. However one defines it. Bob is not family. He is the dictator to whom your mother surrendered. Since your mother will not defend you and would not do so for years. And since your uncles have always done so, you are in the best position to decide where and who your truest family is. I'm sorry for the loss of your father and for the disappearance of your mother. But glad the uncles were there for you. You know now with utter clarity that Bob will always bully you to give up what you get from your family in favor of his offspring. Please don't share any news or financial details with Bob or his wife. NTA. If your mother and Bob still has custody of you and your sister, start researching how to give your uncle custody. Bob may decided to say you two got kidnapped and get uncle arrested. I know it's unlikely, but please make sure your uncle can't be accused. Hope you get into the college you will choose and have a great college life. Hope your sister gonna be okay too. The only middle ground could be to ask Uncle David whether your mom, and just your mom, could come over for Christmas dinner? Or a cup of tea or something. Make it clear you want nothing to do with Bob, and that she has betrayed you by choosing him over you guys. NTA. And heck them. How could your mother be okay with Bob's behavior all those years? He is way out of line, and I'm glad to hear that you managed to live with your uncle. Your mom and Bob need to respect some very much needed boundaries, or NC would be a good alternative. NTA. Bob sure sounds like one. You two will have a happier Christmas with your uncle. So sorry for your loss. Clearly NTA. Don't go and enjoy your Christmas with your real family, i.e. your uncles and their families. As you said, family is where you feel at home. And your mom and Bob clearly don't make you feel that. Merry Christmas to you, your sis, and your true family. Christmas tree. NTA. Bob is abusive. Op equals NTA. Okay, so you sorta hid the lead there. I thought that SD Bob was dividing the money you and your sister got individually equally between you. But suddenly you brought up step-siblings, so I guess you actually meant that the money you and sister got were actually divided not by 2 but by a minimum of 5. Step-siblings, 2 plus, and half-sibling, 1. So basically, your stepfather has been stealing from you and your sister for several years. Neither your step-siblings nor your half-siblings are related to your paternal uncles. They owe them nothing, and your parents should be grateful that your expenses will be covered so they do not have to provide for your education. Your mother is allowing your stepdad to abuse you to the point you have left the family home. Therefore she is the and there is no reason you should be obligated to suffer continued abuse from stepdad. P.S. The not giving you dinner if you got home past 7, that's straight out neglect, abuse in my estimation. NTA. I'm so sorry about your dad. You're right where you need to be. At home with your uncles. You don't need to go back someplace that caused you so much pain and suffering. And Bob sounds horrific. I wouldn't go either. Christmas is about love and joy, neither of which they provide. Mom, I am spending Christmas with family. Family that loves me and doesn't scream at me over money. Family that doesn't mistreat me. Family that actually cares about me. You have Bob now. Enjoy. NTA. Are you the kids of the parents or uncle who posted about this about a month or so ago? Super interesting how this exact situation was posted but from a different player in the game. NTA. Bob is abusive and your mom just let it happen. Be where you feel safe. The only statement I needed to see was, "This feels more like home." That's what counts. NTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.